It's Metal Church right here on your Classic Metal Show from their dark release that is The Burial at Sea. And that one goes out to Kendall Peters. She is a huge Metal Church fan.
She really is, isn't she?
She loves Metal Church, man. It's kind of funny. She's like a major Dokken fan. She loves Metal Church. For someone her age, and I know I say it all the time, but, you know, for somebody in their early 20s, she knows this stuff better than people who were fans of this 30 years ago.
Does she know it better than you?
I don't know if she knows it better than me, but for the average fan out there, she's a hardcore.
Well, and you know what? That's awesome, because we need more hardcores from the youth. And I hate to put Kendall into that fucking millennial
well, she is.
bullshit.
She is the youth. I mean, she is a young adult, and for somebody to know her classic metal the way that she does, that's pretty phenomenal, because I don't even run into people in my own age group that remember half this shit.
Right, those people in your age group, they're like, yeah, I remember when Winger was the shit,
Yeah,
man.
that was great. Are they still around?
Dude, I used to like La Guns. La Guns.
It's like I'm going out to see Rat this weekend.
Yeah.
They're still around?
Yeah, I remember them, Round and Round, right?
Yeah, that's it, Round and Round.
Did they have other songs, or was it just Round and Round?
Yeah, those are the people who listen to Hair Nation and, you know, listen to the top, you know, the top 10 or 15 songs that they play.
You don't like the Hair Nation?
You know what? This is what makes me sad. When satellite radio came out, what was it, back in 90? Was it like 98?
I don't remember. I got it in 2004.
All right. Well, I think XM hit the satellite airwaves about 98, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And when they started it, you know, obviously it was a startup and it was kind of an indie thing and whatever. Sure. Because they were not commercialized at that point, all the way up through, I'm going to say about 2006, maybe 2008.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that they probably had about a good 10-year run right there.
I would say so, sure.
That they really bucked the commercial bullshit.
Right.
They did a lot of unique stuff, or they did stuff that you never heard anywhere else.
Sure.
But once that merger happened between Sirius and XM,
done.
Yeah, it went to shit. Everything is pre-programmed. Everything is timed. Everything is commercialization, and even though you pay for that satellite service, they still have commercials.
Yeah.
You know, and then the programming got just very tight.
Right.
It used to be so freeform.
Yeah.
Kind of like this show. There was really no standards involved.
Right.
And then it just got too slick, I guess is the word.
Right.
And it's kind of like what FM radio was back in the late 60s into the early 70s. Right. That was kind of free form radio. That's when the DJs had like full control, because really nobody knew how to, you know, rein in the FM band, because AM was the standard. And so when the FM stations started popping up, the DJs that played music or just did freeform talk or whatever, they did whatever was off the top of their head, and they played whatever they felt was, you know, relevant at that moment.
Sure.
And there was really no governor on that. But once the commercialization came into play, then they got into the clocks, and then they got into the standards of what could be said or what could be discussed or how long you can do a break, or, you know, and then it just became very homogenized.
Yeah. And the commercials did not help, because let's be honest, forget you and I both, I think we both subscribed for O&A, right?
Mm-hmm.
And O&A was great. O&A, Ron Fez. I know you didn't love Ron and Fez, but
Yeah,
I was a big Ron.
I just could not grasp those guys. I did listen to them, but it just did not resonate with me because I just couldn't get. I don't know. Maybe call me a homophobe or whatever. I just could not get over the whole Fez thing. I mean that just some flaming faggot just whining all the time. It's just unbelievable, and then denying he was gay and.
Right.
Just having personal issues and
right.
It's like, how can somebody be so, and if this wasn't put on, how can somebody be so fucking dysfunctional?
Well, I mean, he did end up quitting the show, so maybe he was.
I enjoyed Ron Bennington. I thought he was a good orator.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that he was very insightful a lot of the time.
Sure.
But the chaos that would always ensue,
right?
You know, with Fez's problems and his issues and his
Dave.
Yeah, it's like, what a mess.
See, and that's what I loved. I loved that it was just a messy, sloppy show. That was entertaining to me. But I liked Ron Bennington because he was so quick with a very subtle joke. Mm-hmm.
And if you weren't listening real close, you missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. Dude, it's not for everybody, and that happens. But you know, the thing where I was going with this was, aside from that though, the thing that we all liked was that you could like and especially you probably more than me because you were traveling, you could get in your car and you could throw on Hair Nation and you could drive, you know, a few hundred miles and never have a commercial.
And I agree, and that was the beauty of it.
Right.
But when Bluetooth became available in your car,
right,
then I had no need for satellite radio anymore.
Right.
Because I could Bluetooth my iPhone to the dash and listen to whatever I wanted to.
Right.
So that's what killed satellite for me, aside from the shitty programming that took place after the merger. But when I had my iPhone and I could go through and listen to anything from podcast to Spotify to whatever and just play it through the car stereo from my phone,
right,
then I didn't need satellite anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that's about where I'm at too, is, you know, and plus the for me, the tremendous growth of podcasting, you know, forget our show, but for other shows as well. I mean, there's just a lot of great shows out there. There's really no need anymore to listen to anything that's on commercial radio.
I agree.
There's better programming out there, and it's uncensored, and it's just better. So, you know, to me, I'll just listen to that. I have no need for commercial radio anymore at all.
Yeah. And I don't listen to commercial radio. Since I bought this adapter,
right?
The way that I used to listen to my iPhone, because my car is a 2006, I didn't have the option to have the built-in Bluetooth and all that kind of stuff. But they've made adapters now to where you can plug it into the auxiliary port and have the Bluetooth capacity for both listening to audio and taking phone calls.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, that's all I listen to. I get in the car, connect the iPhone, and go down the street and listen to whatever I want.
Right.
So I don't listen to commercial radio. I my subscription to satellite, I think I cut that off about 2012.
Right.
So I haven't had that in 5 years.
Right.
So it's just wide open out there now.
Right.
So anyway, what was I getting to? Metal Church. We were just playing some Metal Church. Apparently, Metal Church is, their successful reunion with Mike Howe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad I got to see those guys a couple of times last year.
Sure.
But apparently they're in the planning stages for a new album.
Well, that's good.
Because that last one kicked ass.
Yeah, it's good.
Kurdt Vanderhoof has confirmed that Metal Church is commenced in the writing sessions for the follow-up to its 2016 album, 11, tentatively due in early of 2018.
Right.
I actually have a big pile of new songs and demos ready to go, and Mike Howe and I are going to start putting it together, and we're going to try to start putting a new record, and put together a new record, the guitarist told KDUX morning show.
All right. At least they're on all the big stations.
We'll look
KDUX.
KDUX.
Yeah, the K-Ducks.
Yeah. Kurdt has spoken in more detail about the Metal Church songwriting process, saying that it comes about this. I hate when people use this term. It came about organically.
Yeah, well, that's good.
What does that mean?
I say that all the time. What's wrong with that? I do. It's
very cliche.
Stop! I use that word all the fucking time.
It came together organically. What does that mean?
It means it just sort of happened.
Yeah, but isn't that how normally things happen?
Yeah, but that's how you describe it.
Organically.
Describe it as it happened organic. How would you describe it? Well, it just fucking happened?
No, it's just like I just got the urge to do a record.
Okay, so by definition, that would be that the decision to do a record happened organically.
I'm not saying that the definition is incorrect. I'm just saying that that's overused is what I'm trying to say.
Nonsense. As someone that says the word organic 400 times a day,
right?
That is nonsense.
Right.
It's the most underused word in the dictionary.
Sure.
To set that straight.
Okay. The only way I approach writing a Metal Church record is, does it sound like Metal Church?
Yes. I mean, maybe. Maybe it'll sound like Presto Ballet. Let's hope not.
Yeah. Well, I think the last time I interviewed Kurdt is I had asked him specifically about, writing the sound of Metal Church, because obviously his guitar tone is very identifiable as a Metal Church sound.
Right.
And he explained about how he plays the guitar and how he doesn't really use any effects, and it's a very he doesn't use a lot of guitar effects, and what you hear is what you get, and etc. But the thing is he has a very distinct sound. Metal Church has a very distinct guitar sound.
Sure.
I've never been one to try to take chances and break new ground with things.
Really?
That's never been on my mind. I just want to definitely keep it old school and heavy and powerful. Well, that works for me.
Yeah, me too.
But it's got to be melodic. That works for me as well. There has to be vocal melodies and notes and things like that. Well, that just kind of describes everything in the classic metal genre, doesn't it?
Well, because it's an organic development of songs.
Right.
See how I used that word appropriately once again?
Now, are you going to throw in the cliche, see what I did there?
Yeah, you see what I did there?
Some things that some bands and people don't really do anymore, which I guess is fine, but that's not really something I want to listen to, so it's still got to be musical. So I just kind of approach it that way. It's got to be musical.
Well, thanks, Kurdt, because I was really starting to wonder if the new Metal Church record was going to actually be a musical record versus a spoken word opus. I mean, what is he talking about here?
Again, I think I'm kind of like locked in a corner here, so I got to say something.
Well, as Metal Church, we're going to make an album, and it's going to sound, it's going to have music. In fact, let me, Neeley, you got the bumper for an exclusive?
Yeah, I'll pull that up.
Give me that bumper, please, because I've got a Metal Church exclusive getting ready to come here.
All right, a CMS exclusive, first time play.
Yeah, give me that bumper.
All right, here we go. Exclusive first time play.
This is an exclusive first time play.
The Classic Metal Show.
Neeley, I have to tell you, my sources have informed me that the new Metal Church record, it will have guitars. It's definitely going to have some drums on it. It might have some bass playing, and I would suspect. Now, this part has not been confirmed yet, but I'm going to think that this is probably a good source. My sources tell me that organically they have decided to also have vocals on this record.
Now, what's the chances of Mike Howe actually being the vocalist on this organically planned CD?
Well, Neely, the way I understand it is Kurdt Vanderhoof, through playing these gigs over the last year with Metal Church, he organically decided that Mike Howe should stay on for another record. So, and Mike agreed, so they've organically decided to put together another Metal Church record with the current lineup of the band.
Excellent.
That's what my sources tell me.
So during the writing process,
yes,
around noon, do you think they went out to a restaurant that served organic salads?
They were trying to buy organic carrots, but they were too much money, so they went with the cheap ones. That's what I think.
Okay. Kurdt continues on. It's got to be melodic.
Yes.
And it still has to maintain power and be metal.
Wow. Take it easy with the fucking mind-numbing information here, Kurdt. Jesus.
But it's definitely old school, just kind of like Levin was.
Right. Wow.
It's a follow-up.
Right.
We need something to cohesively put it together in an organic fashion.
See, now you're doing it. It's in an organic fashion.
Yeah, well, I threw that in there.
You're throwing it in there because you realize that that's how you should be speaking.
Right. 11 debuted at number 57 on the Billboard 200 with the first week sales of 11,000 equivalent albums.
Holy shit, that's like 6.7 million in today's market.
Exactly. Produced by Vanderhoof, who co-produced by Chris the Wizard Collier.
Chris the Wizard.
He's the Wizard.
Not like our friend Stephanie's brother, Chris Collier. This is Chris the Wizard.
Well, that's why they had to put that in there. That's just like Yngwie J. Malmsteen.
Yeah, because that Yngwie K gets a lot of work.
It does. You know, it separates Yngwie J. from all the other Yngwie Malmsteens in the business. He produced the band's 11th studio release, marked the return of Mike Howe, who first appeared on 1989's Blessing in Disguise. Metal Church released a live album, Classic Live, on April 28th, which was actually pretty good. I'm not a big fan of live albums.
Is that new one?
It's the latest one, yes.
I have not heard it. It's good?
It's actually pretty good. They did a good job on that. Produced by Kurdt Vanderhoof, the special edition release features 9 classic Metal Church songs,
right,
recorded on the band's 2016 tour, and includes a special bonus track. Bonus track.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
A powerful news. Go ahead.
We've got this secret track out there that nobody except anybody that buys the record will hear. Oh, and Spotify and Apple Music and anywhere else that you can download it illegally.
Right. And a powerful new studio version of Fake Healer that features duet with Queensryche vocalist Todd LaTorre.
Shh, Todd LaTorre sneaks in from Queensryche.
Right.
But that's a bonus track. You're not supposed to know he's on there, because Century Media didn't want that to happen. All right, continue.
All right. So, anyway, there's new Metal Church in the works.
Well, that's good. Nobody's questioning that is needed, are they?
No, of course not. I love Metal Church.
Me too.
I would say that even with our good friend Ronnie Monroe at the helm, I wasn't a big fan of Weight of the World.
No.
And I wasn't a big fan of This Present Wasteland, but man, that Light in the Dark, that album was solid from beginning to end.
I didn't mind This Present Wasteland. It wasn't as good as Light in the Dark. Light in the Dark's fucking great.
It is. It's something about that whole album. I listened to that album from beginning to end nonstop, but when This Present Wasteland came out, it was just like, just very lackluster.
It's like, all right, get another singer. No, we weren't saying that.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It just didn't have a punch to it or something.
Yeah, it had shit production. That's really what it was.
And Weight of the World, when Metal Church first got back together and they got Ronnie Monroe, Weight of the World, another one was like, ugh.
Yeah, well, the songs were bad on that one. It didn't feel like Metal Church. It just felt like some band.
Yeah. But they hit their stride with Weight of the World, and man, that was a great record. That's how we got to know, Ronnie a little bit.
Not Weight of the World. They hit their stride with Light in the Dark.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. But yeah, Light in the Dark, they definitely hit their stride. I went to see them on that tour, and those guys couldn't have been nicer.
Now, and remember we did the takeover show.
Well, you did. You did that in a little room. Where was that, at Peabody's?
It was at the old Peabody's, and we were huddled. We had 5 of us huddled around one little desk about the size of a school kid desk with one microphone that we just kept turning. And then I went through the painstaking fucking editing process of editing 4.5 hours of interviews, cutting out all the audio where I was turning the microphone around.
Sure.
Holy shit. It took me like 15 hours to edit like 4 hours of shit. It was fucking horrible, but it made for a good show, and those guys were great. Yeah,
they were very nice. And, when I saw them last June, when I went out to L.A. For Bob Nalbandian's release of his Inside Metal thing. Sure. I went to see them at the Whiskey with Armored Saint.
Right.
And, they were very nice to me then.
You realize since we did that takeover show, that I think there's only one guy left from that band? I think only Kirk.
No, Steve Unger.
Is Unger still in there?
Yeah, he's still there.
All right, so 2, because Plate's out.
Yeah, he left a few months ago.
Yeah, he left, and obviously Ronnie's out. And who else would be in? I don't think anybody. That was it, right?
Yeah, what was the guy from blonde guy? What the hell was his name?
Joe Smith.
No,
is that not him? Joe Smith. That's what I called him. Like, what's up, Joe?
Jay Reynolds?
Yeah, Joe Smith. I got it. Yeah, that guy.
He was in there, and then he left the band.
Yeah, didn't he go to jail?
He got into some kind of trouble.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah, whatever. We like the band, whoever the fuck's in it,
yeah,
right?
But they did well. They sounded great. They sounded like Metal Church, even though that was a revolving cast of characters.
Right.
But somehow they kept that sound. It's kind of like Wasp, even though they've had a revolving door of characters, they still have that Wasp sound.
Sure.
Which is, interesting how they can keep that sound consistent, even though it's a whole lineup change.
Blackie probably just owns the instruments, so he just says, here's Holmes's guitar, play it.
Is that what it is? It's the actual instrument that makes the difference.
That's it. It doesn't make any difference. It's just anybody can play it as long as it's tuned the right way.
Right.
Isn't that how that works?
Well, that must be the deal that they made with the devil or something.
Well, when they're playing Chris Holmes's guitar organically, they sound like Chris Holmes. I'm not letting go of the organic because I say it way too much. That's one me and you gonna have to disagree on, dude.
Well, you can do what you want. It's just that for me personally, when I see a musician it just came together organically. It's like that's sort of like that whole catchphrase,
Well, sure.
It's just a transitional thing. It's just like, of course it came together organically.
Yeah, how else would it come together?
Yeah.
By a plan? We wrote a script and then we followed it?